You'd think with all our supercomputers and satellites watching every inch of the planet, we'd have our own atmosphere pretty much figured out. But honestly, it's still packed with some deep, profound mysteries. So today, we're going to dive into one of the most baffling phenomena that science still can't quite get a handle on.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We look up at the sky, this familiar space we see every single day, and then sometimes it shows us something that just feels, well, completely alien. These incredible spectacles of light and electricity that just seem to break all the rules.
I mean, on one hand, our tech is amazing, right? We've got Doppler radar, a whole network of satellites, super complex climate models. We understand so much. But on the other hand, you have these persistent puzzles, things like floating fireballs and these gigantic red tendrils of electricity that reach up towards space. And it's in that gap between what we know and what we don't, that's where things get really weird.
So how can this stuff even exist? Well, we have to remember what we're actually dealing with here. The Earth's atmosphere isn't some simple, predictable machine. Oh no, it's a chaotic, messy, nonlinear system. You've got oceans, land, and a constant blast of solar radiation all mixing together in these incredibly complex ways. And, in that kind of chaos, some very strange things are bound to happen.
And maybe the most famous, the most iconic of all these weird phenomena is one that has been stumping people for literally centuries. So today, we are officially opening the case file on what's known as ball lightning.
Okay, so picture this. For hundreds of years, eyewitnesses all describe the exact same bizarre thing. These glowing, luminous spheres, usually about the size of a basketball.
But it's not just what they look like, it's what they do that's so freaky. Unlike a normal lightning strike that's over in a flash, these things are reported to just drift, silently. They've even been seen passing right through open windows and into houses.
And then, just as mysteriously as they show up, they're gone. Sometimes they just fade away without a sound, and other times, they explode with the force of a small bomb.
So, to put an official label on it, what are we talking about here? Ball lightning is classified as a rare and very much unexplained atmospheric electrical phenomenon. The really mind-bending parts are that it's a sphere and that it can hover and drift and move in ways that seem to defy the physics we see in action every day.
Now, you might be thinking this is some modern thing, something people started seeing in the age of cell phone cameras. But nope, not even close. This is a mystery that's thousands of years old, with sightings recorded all the way through human history.
I mean, just look at this timeline. You can find accounts of this stuff in ancient Greek texts, there are detailed descriptions in medieval journals, and of course there are countless modern reports from pilots, sailors, just regular people. But look at that last point. For all that history, it wasn't until 2012 that we got our very first piece of solid scientific data.
And this was a huge clue. So get this. Some researchers in China were studying regular thunderstorms and just happened to accidentally catch one of these things on a spectrometer. And the result was fascinating. The signature of the light it gave off had elements like silicon, iron, and calcium, which, you guessed it, are the main things you find in dirt.
But here's the twist. This clue didn't solve the case. If anything, it made the mystery even deeper. Okay, great, so it might be made of vaporized soil. But that just leads to an even bigger question. How in the world does a bolt of lightning turn a patch of dirt into a stable, glowing orb that can float around for 10 seconds? We still have no idea.
So, this brings us to the main event, the investigation. Scientists have come up with a bunch of different theories to try and explain how this could possibly work. Let's think of them as the primary suspects in this unsolved case.
The problem is, none of these suspects have a perfect alibi. First up is the plasma theory. This suggests it's a little contained ball of super hot ionized gas. The problem, we have no idea how it could stay stable for so long, it should just dissipate instantly. Then there's the vaporized silicon theory, which builds on that 2012 data. The idea is lightning hits silica in the soil and creates a glowing chemical reaction. But that doesn't explain how it moves so weirdly or how it could pass through glass. And finally, you've got some physicists who suggest it's some kind of complex quantum effect. But that idea is, well, it's highly theoretical and almost impossible to test right now.
Okay, so we've got clues, we've got suspects. Why can't we crack this case? Why does it remain so stubbornly cold? What are we missing?
And the answer is, well, it's almost ridiculously simple and super frustrating. Science works by doing experiments you can repeat, And for all our efforts, nobody, not once, has ever managed to create real, stable ball lightning in a lab. We can only study it when nature randomly decides to show us one.
And that's really the heart of it. Our lab attempts just fall flat. Sure, we can make little plasma bubbles that last for a split second. We can get some sparks to briefly form a sphere. But these imitations, they don't last, and they don't act like the real thing people see. They're only superficially similar.
So when you boil it all down, the reason this is so tough is that ball lightning isn't just one thing. It's not just a weather problem or a chemistry problem. It's this incredibly complex puzzle that sits right at the intersection of at least 4 different fields of science: atmospheric physics, electromagnetism, chemistry, and yeah, maybe even quantum mechanics. And we just haven't found the key that connects all those dots.
You know, the fact that ball lightning even exists is, well, it's a humbling reminder. It shows us that even in our hyper-modern world, there are powerful, fundamental forces of nature out there that we still just plain don't understand. It really makes you wonder, what other incredible secrets are still hiding, right above our heads, in plain sight?